The massive ship hung in Earth's sky like a dark moon, blotting out entire constellations. Its surface was smooth obsidian, unmarked by any visible technology, yet every sensor on the planet screamed warnings about the energy readings emanating from within. For 3 days it had remained motionless above the Pacific, while humanity held its collective breath. Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the United Nations Emergency Command Center, watching the holographic display that showed the alien vessel's imposing silhouette. Around her, representatives from every nation on Earth whispered in hushed tones, their faces pale with the weight of what was coming. The communication had arrived that morning, not through radio waves or quantum entanglement, but directly into the minds of every human being on the planet simultaneously. The voice had been cold, mechanical, devoid of any emotion that humans might recognize. Species designation, human. Planet designation, Earth 3. You will surrender your world and submit to assimilation into the hegemony. Resistance will result in complete extinction. You have 1 solar rotation to comply. Now, with less than 6 hours remaining, the world's leaders had gathered to formulate their response. The debates had raged for hours, some calling for negotiation, others for immediate surrender to save whatever lives they could. The calculations were stark. Humanity's most advanced weapons were like throwing stones at a hurricane compared to the technology demonstrated by the alien vessel. We could try to evacuate key populations, suggested Dr. Yamamoto from the Japanese delegation. Perhaps they would allow some to survive if we cooperate. And become slaves to beings we know nothing about? General Morrison from the United States slammed his fist on the table. We don't negotiate with terrorists, terrestrial or otherwise. Admiral Chen listened to the arguments swirling around her, but her mind was elsewhere. She thought of her daughter Maya, now a lieutenant serving aboard the orbital defense station Unity. She thought of the billions of humans going about their lives below, children playing in parks, scientists pushing the boundaries of knowledge, artists creating beauty in a universe that often seemed devoid of it. Admiral? The voice belonged to Secretary General Okafor. The Joint Chiefs are asking for your recommendation on the response. Chen looked up at the holographic display again. The alien ship pulsed with a faint red light, like a heartbeat counting down to humanity's deadline. In that moment, she remembered something her grandfather had told her about his service in World War III. How sometimes the choice wasn't between winning and losing, but between fighting and surrendering your soul. What do we know about this hegemony? She asked. Dr. Elizabeth Warren, the xenobiologist who had been hastily appointed as humanity's first alien contact specialist, stepped forward. Based on the communication patterns and what little we can infer, they appear to be a collective intelligence. The phrase assimilation suggests they don't just want our planet, they want to absorb us into their consciousness, to erase what makes us human. Then there's really no choice, is there? Chen said quietly. The room fell silent. Through the reinforced windows of the command center, they could see the alien ship's shadow stretching across the Pacific like a funeral shroud. Admiral, Secretary General Okafor's voice was barely a whisper. Are you suggesting we fight? Against that? Chen walked to the center of the room where the holographic projector cast the alien vessel in stark detail. She studied its impossible curves, its seamless construction, the energy readings that dwarfed humanity's entire power grid. My grandfather once told me that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing what's right despite the fear. She turned to face the assembled leaders. These beings, this hegemony, they made one crucial mistake. They told us what they wanted to do to us. She gestured toward the display. They want to erase humanity, not just kill us, but eliminate everything that makes us who we are. Our creativity, our individuality, our capacity for both tremendous love and stubborn defiance. They want to turn us into extensions of themselves. General Morrison nodded slowly. And you think we should tell them no? I think, Chen said, her voice growing stronger, that there are things worth dying for. And the right to remain human, flawed, chaotic, beautiful, impossible human, is one of them. The vote was unanimous. 2 hours before the deadline, Admiral Chen stood alone in the communication center. The response had been drafted, approved, and loaded into every broadcast system on Earth. It would be transmitted simultaneously across all frequencies, in every human language, and through the same mysterious channel the aliens had used to contact them. She thought of Maya one more time, hoping her daughter would understand. Then she pressed the transmission button. The message that went out to the alien vessel was simple, broadcast in the voice of a species that had climbed down from trees, to split atoms that had fought wars and written poetry, that had looked at the stars and decided to reach for them despite the darkness between. It was just one word, spoken with the accumulated defiance of 10,000 years of human civilization. No. The alien ship pulsed once, then began to move. Its massive bulk shifted in Earth's sky as it positioned itself for what could only be an attack. Across the globe, every human being felt the weight of that moment, the instant their species chose to stand rather than kneel. As the first energy beams lanced down toward Earth's surface, Admiral Chen smiled grimly. They might not win, but they would face their end as they had lived, free, defiant, and utterly impossibly human. The war for Earth had begun,